Whatever the setbacks of the moment, nothing can stop us now. Whatever the difficulties, Africa shall be at peace. However improbable it may sound to the skeptics, Africa will prosper.
More than anything, UNISA must be celebrated as a pioneer of the distance education model, an enduring gift not only to South Africa, the continent, but to the human civilization in the knowledge arena the world over.
Education is the light in a dark room. It's the spark of a dream, a passport to the future, and the seed of generational change. Through education, we reflect on yesterday and define tomorrow. Rooted in South Africa and the African continent, UNISA can truly claim to be the African university in the service of humanity. UNISA stands at the pinnacle of education through open distance e-learning, with a footprint of students in more than 100 countries worldwide. Since the founding of the university in 1873 as an examining body, we have been a trailblazer. UNISA is the first and only institution in South Africa to carry our country's name with pride, and the first public university in the world to exclusively teach by means of distance education, an ever-changing dynamic university with a global reach. UNISA's history spans the entire modern history of South Africa, opening up a world of academic study opportunities for former activists and struggle heroes, thought leaders, business people, legal experts, acclaimed entertainers, and sports stars. The university takes pride in almost 1 million alumni, with 10 alumni chapters internationally, making their mark in diverse fields and capabilities. Some of the noteworthy alumni include President Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, who is also the Chancellor and custodian of the university's Calabash Awards, current President Cyril Ramaphosa, former South African Reserve Bank Governor Joe Marcus, and current one, Lesetja Kganyago. Internationally, Reserve Bank governors of Eswatini and Namibia, to name but a few. At UNISA, the World Wide Web is our educational playground, but we also have beautiful and impressive campuses. UNISA's Makelneuk campus is located in the city of Tshwane and is a major landmark of the capital city. The Florida campus in Johannesburg is UNISA's Science Campus, housing state-of-the-art infrastructure and laboratory equipment. UNISA has 6 regional hubs including Ethiopia and multiple centers across the country. We have embraced the fact that we need to adapt quickly to the fast-paced higher education environment of the 21st century, and this is reflected in our management style and leadership practice. In articulating her vision, the new Principal and Vice Chancellor of the University of South Africa, the first black woman to be appointed at the helm of UNISA, Professor Puleng Linkabola, shared that UNISA is well placed to address society's most demanding challenges by using research to meaningfully transform the lives of those in our communities. To this end, UNISA is working on the following catalytic niche areas. Marine Studies. As a discipline, Marine Studies covers field-specific studies like marine ecology and biology to policy-related studies like marine spatial planning and coastal economies. Many other areas of marine research and studies are covered in this niche area. Aviation and Aeronautical Studies. Aviation and Aeronautical Studies covers specializations in areas as diverse as aeronautical engineering and aerospace safety, and South Africa's 18 airports forms a major role player for passengers and goods transitioning to and from our country. This is a niche that supports a major component of the country's economy. Automotive Studies. The South African automotive industry is projected to grow from 600,000 to 1.4 million vehicles a year in production. There is major potential to be explored in UNISA's commitment to automotive studies. In 2022, students from the Department of Mechanical Engineering participated in the Sasol Solar Challenge with their solar-powered car that travels from Johannesburg to Cape Town without using a single drop of fuel. Energy Studies. UNISA's Institute for Development of Energy for African Sustainability specializes in designing chemical processes, reducing material and energy consumption, as well as carbon dioxide emissions. Space Studies and Square Kilometer Array. UNISA has been extensively involved in the $1 billion Square Kilometer Array project since 2012. The UNISA Observatory, situated on the main campus, is a modern, well-equipped facility housing a 14-inch telescope where the College of Science, Engineering and Technology offers undergraduate courses in astrophysics and astronomy with specialization up to PhD level. Fourth Industrial Revolution and Digitalization. The Fourth Industrial Revolution can be described as the advent of cyber-physical systems, involving entirely new capabilities for people and machines. Examples include genome editing and new forms of machine intelligence. The College of Graduate Studies will support and promote studies into 4IR and digitalization, while the Graduate School of Business Leadership presents a short learning program on big data. Natural Sciences. The simplest definition of biotechnological studies is applied biology. Through the application of biological knowledge and techniques to develop products or services, UNISA's College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences is one of the main partners in the African Biogenome Project, a coordinated Pan-African effort piloting a project with a key objective of sequencing 100,000 endemic species. Health and/or Pharmaceutical Studies. The Department of Health Studies is prepared for the challenge of equipping their students with research skills and expertise in the field of health and pharmaceutical studies. The UNESCO UNISA Africa Chair in Nanoscience and Nanotechnology is leading the international research into the nano-delivery of medicinal drugs, including African herbal medicine. The College of Law offers an elective undergraduate model on medical law. Feminist, Womanist, Busadi Theorizations. In the College of Human Sciences, the Institute for Gender Studies, the College of Education and the Graduate School of Business all contribute to the interdisciplinary research into eliminating gender-based violence, homophobia and transphobia, and discrimination against women in the workplace and the political arena. The Institute also uses education about gender as an effective way to achieve gender equality and the empowerment of women. Student support and co-curricular activities. UNISA is uniquely placed to offer creative and radically innovative ways of enhancing student support. UNISA's College of Graduate Studies has developed a whole range of training programs to assist and encourage students. The Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disabilities promotes the principle of access for success, and the Student Development Division provides students with social support and leadership development services. These niche areas find expression in the rich tapestry of our disciplines included in the College of Accounting Sciences, Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Economic and Management Sciences, Education, Graduate Studies, Human Sciences, Law, Science, Engineering and Technology, the Graduate School of Business Leadership, and the Thabo Mbeki School of Public and International Affairs. As a comprehensive open distance e-learning institution, UNISA is recognized as a serious player in research globally. From publication and journal output to the number of master's and doctoral graduates, we are moving forwards and upwards. UNISA has made substantial progress in research and innovation, as evidenced by several external and credible scientific ranking systems, with the latest ones, the 2023 Webometrics and Shanghai rankings, placing us in the top 10 universities in the country. As Africa's leading open distance e-learning university, we can reflect with great pride on the past 150 years of transformational education, and we are confident in our ability to succeed and become a truly high-performance university as we define tomorrow.
The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. One of the official photography officers will take the yellow photography card from you. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. You will then proceed towards the chancellor, vice chancellor or acting vice chancellor and kneel with your right knee on the stool. At this point, your degree will be conferred. You will then proceed to the next official who will congratulate you by shaking your hand. Continue towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Turn and face the audience and remember to stand on the mat with feet markers in front of the registrar and smile for the camera. A second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table at the far right to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. For postgraduate and undergraduate diploma candidates, you will also be wearing your hoods before entering the hall. You will be signaled by a graduations officer to rise and approach the stage. You need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up to the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. Proceed towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Stop in front of the registrar and stand on the mat with feet markers. Turn and face the audience. Your second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table on the far right of the stage to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area, where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. We hope that you will enjoy this occasion. The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. One of the official photography officers will take the yellow photography card from you. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. You will then proceed towards the chancellor, vice chancellor, or acting vice chancellor and kneel with your right knee on the stool. At this point, your degree will be conferred. You will then proceed to the next official who will congratulate you by shaking your hand. Continue towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Turn and face the audience and remember to stand on the mat with feet markers in front of the registrar and smile for the camera. A second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table at the far right to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. For postgraduate and undergraduate diploma candidates, you will also be wearing your hoods before entering the hall. You will be signaled by a graduations officer to rise and approach the stage. You need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up to the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. Proceed towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Stop in front of the registrar and stand on the mat with feet markers. Turn and face the audience. Your second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table on the far right of the stage to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area, where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. We hope that you will enjoy this occasion. The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. One of the official photography officers will take the yellow photography card from you. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. You will then proceed towards the chancellor, vice chancellor or acting vice chancellor and kneel with your right knee on the stool. At this point, your degree will be conferred. You will then proceed to the next official who will congratulate you by shaking your hand. Continue towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Turn and face the audience and remember to stand on the mat with feet markers in front of the registrar and smile for the camera. A second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table at the far right to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. For postgraduate and undergraduate diploma candidates, you will also be wearing your hoods before entering the hall. You will be signaled by a graduations officer to rise and approach the stage. You need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up to the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. Proceed towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Stop in front of the registrar and stand on the mat with feet markers. Turn and face the audience. Your second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table on the far right of the stage to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area, where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. We hope that you will enjoy this occasion. The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. One of the official photography officers will take the yellow photography card from you. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. You will then proceed towards the chancellor, vice chancellor, or acting vice chancellor and kneel with your right knee on the stool. At this point, your degree will be conferred. You will then proceed to the next official who will congratulate you by shaking your hand. Continue towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Turn and face the audience and remember to stand on the mat with feet markers in front of the registrar and smile for the camera. A second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table at the far right to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. For postgraduate and undergraduate diploma candidates, you will also be wearing your hoods before entering the hall. You will be signaled by a graduations officer to rise and approach the stage. You need to have your seat ticket and the yellow photography card in your right hand. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up to the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. Proceed towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Stop in front of the registrar and stand on the mat with feet markers. Turn and face the audience. Your second on-stage photograph
By virtues of the powers vested in me as the Principal and Vice Chancellor of the University of South Africa, I constitute this gathering a congregation of the University of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we request you to join us in silent prayers and meditations, affirmations to give thanks to the achievements being celebrated this evening. May we be silent. Thank you. May I request the procession and the audience to be seated. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, I can feel now we're here to celebrate. His Excellency Dr. Thabo Mbeki, the Chancellor of the University of South Africa and the former President of the Republic of South Africa, Chief Nana Asamoah Katoke, Abrasin of the town of Asokere, Kofiridua in the New Juban traditional area of Ghana. Our esteemed guest, Professor George S. Sefadei, the recipient of our Doctor of Philosophy in Education honoris causa. Members of the executive and extended management in the university here in present, members of the Council of the University led by Dr. Diao Musia, and present here in Dr. D. XD Kotliso, representing the Council. Members of the Executive Management, I recognize Professor Meiwa, Professor Mahanu, Professor Sputa, Professor Dr. Molapo, and the Acting Registrar, Dr. B. Likubu. Let me also recognize the Executive and Deputy Executive Deans from various colleges present, members of the academic procession, guests, family members, friends of Professor George Day in attendance, our graduates and their families and friends in support tonight, representatives from the national, provincial, and local governments, members of the civil society and business communities present here tonight, members of the university community present, especially the academicians who are the core of teaching, of learning, of research, of engaged scholarship, and ensuring that this university assets, in terms of knowledge assets, that the primacy therein is supported. Equally important are the professionals and administrative staff of this university. Let me recognize the primary stakeholders of the university, the students represented by the National Student Representative Council, and all members of other various students' bodies, all graduates receiving various qualifications. We are truly welcome. The support, administrative staff, friends of the University of South Africa, our alumni, representatives from various media fraternal, distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Sanbonan. Molweni. Assalamu alaikum. Jambo. Tabela. Lochani. Riperile. Madegwana. Kwenand. Khodzong. It is my greatest honor and privilege to welcome you to the third session of the 2024 autumn graduation ceremonies this evening. Our university places high premium on the academic success and excellence, the virtues that define us as a truly Pan-African university that shapes the future in service of humanity. Equally important, graduations for the University of South Africa are considered as some of the most prestigious, if not sacred, academic activities that any university in the world could affirm. It is the pinnacle and the marker of success in a university endeavor to enriching people and improving the human condition. I wish to remind you that the University of South Africa is the first university in the world to teach via open distance education. I'm happy that you clapped because the model that UNISA has been using since 1873 only became even more important and opportune in the aftermath of COVID-19, where multiple industries, whether you think around the business sector or higher education or even middle education system, all are now looking into remote ways of making education accessible or even products and services accessible, albeit using digital systems. So only 147 or 145 years after UNISA had used this method, that others caught up. UNISA is the grandmother of all universities in South Africa, if not in Southern Africa. Do you like the metaphor of a grandmother? Do you know what grandmothers do in our societies? They are the custodians of the value systems, they're custodians of excellence. They are the ones who make sure that social capital, social cohesion, family cohesion, and participation in the knowledge arena and the value systems are protected. So if you think about the University of Cape Town, if you think about Fort Hare University, the University of the Free State, and others, all these are the children of the University of South Africa. And therefore, colleagues, our pride is not just in the fact that we are 150 years old, neither is it in the size and shape of the university, nor is it in the commitments of starting and establishing university system in the country. I wish to remind you the place of UNISA and its role in higher education system in our country, in our continent, and in the global arena. For it is knowing these insights, these assets, that you who will be graduating in this important hall, the Z.K. Matthews Hall, within the Winnie Madikizela Mandela building, will understand the value of your credentials. One, UNISA is home to 378,000 students. 179,000 of these are supported by National Financial Aid System. Colleagues, if you don't know what this implies, for any person to qualify to be supported by National Financial Aid System, it means the family income, not just one person's income. The whole family income must be 350,000 per annum. It means by ensuring that we have these 179,000 students, we are partners with our society to ensuring that these students extricate themselves from poverty, that they use education as that which is a resource to changing their own lives, transforming their families as they do their societies. And therefore, this is nothing we take for granted. It is something that we take seriously as an important calling, if not an invitation to ensuring that your credentials are of quality. UNISA is home to 34 to 37% of the student population in the university sector. It produces less than 50,000 graduates in the various fields of study per year. And in this season, colleagues, not in this year, in this season, the autumn season, 40,000 students will be graduating in the various colleges of the country. If you know the number of a university in Johannesburg, you'll know that our graduates are more than one of those universities. And we are proud because we deem this as an important contribution to our society. The College of Education alone, colleagues, produces 50% of the teachers in South Africa in the private and in the public sector. 50% of the teachers. And all of us who have gone to school in South Africa in here must have been taught by somebody who studied through UNISA. I think they need a round of applause. Actually, colleagues, the College of Education hosts about 102,000 students. It's more than 3 or 4 universities put together as a college. So I think it's important to understand that contribution. The College of Accounting Sciences, colleagues, produces 30% of the chartered accountants in this country, majority who are African or Black from society's economic margins, who would not, prior to 1994, access these opportunities. I think they equally require a round of applause. The School of Business, the College of Economic and Management Sciences, the TM School of International Affairs and Public Diplomacy, all are at the center of forming business leaders, economic leaders, financiers, and those who are looking at business and entrepreneurship as the frontiers of changing our society. If I were to give you an example, and I'll start with them because majority of them come from the business school. Huh? Who has signed your 10 Rand notes or your 20 Rand note? Do you even have it? Check it. Tell me who has signed it. I won't move if you don't. Who has signed it? Lesetja Kganyago is a graduate of this university and is the current governor of the Reserve Bank. Colleagues, and has studied with this august university. Can you give him a round of applause? But it's not just Lesetja Kganyago. The former governor, the first governor, Jill Marcus, is also a graduate of this university. So it's very important if you're from business school or economic and management sciences or even in the TM school to know that you have a bigger role to ensure that our economy is successful. The other aspect I thought was important for me to share with you, colleagues, is the fact that the College of Agriculture in our university has been requested by the continent to map the biotic flora and fauna. So if you think about the trees, the shrubs, the plants, even the insects of the continent, the college has been requested to map these and to ensure that they are conserved so that they are not stolen away from the continent of Africa. I think they deserve a round of applause. The College of Engineering, colleagues, has been placed #1 position alongside the Northwest University and the University of Stellenbosch. #1. 20 years ago, UNISA did not have the College of Engineering and Sciences, and later on, it has become one of the leading colleges of engineering in the country. This is because of the investments that the university is making to ensuring that we contribute to the transformation of our economic systems. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates of this university become important citizens who contribute to society, who shape the course of life, who take seriously the value of education as that which promotes excellence. They do so because the role of UNISA and of universities as social institutions is to ensure that they give and equip students with resources that enable them to creating jobs for themselves or to looking for jobs successfully. Each student of our university, I would say without fear or hesitation, has been equipped to journey the trajectory of life without fear, and if they don't get a job, they will work hard to creating a job, because these are skill sets that have been made available to them, including the digital skill sets. Isn't it true? Your Invigilator app. You're laughing because you know that this university has given you the digital tools that enable you to participate in the 21st century. They've given you the epistemological and ontological foundations, the knowledge foundations, the foundations of Ubuntu Butu, those foundations that enable you as members of society, not just to using your knowledge for yourselves, but to using it for the benefit of your families and your society. Just because you're going to get a degree today does not mean you're better than other people. It means you've just been empowered to be an anchor and an agent for change who uses knowledge to make meaning for society. And therefore, as you graduate today, I want to use the words of Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of Liberia and the very first woman president on the African continent. And she says, education is the cornerstone of sustainable development, empowering individuals to make informed decisions to contribute positively to their societies. If Her Excellency would have made this important invitation to you, it means you have a responsibility, a duty to ensuring that you become the best amongst the best in the area of your knowledge or which you aspire for. Why is this important, colleagues? UNISA has produced numerous leaders from diverse environments, statesmen, colleagues. If you aspire to be a president, after all, we're in the election season, celebrating 30 years of democracy, then you should know that UNISA has produced presidents for this country, but also for other countries. His Excellency President Nelson Mandela is a graduate of this university. Jealous. I can understand the loved ones. Luna? Sure. President, or you're the post-1994 generation. You would not be graduating in this university, colleagues, had it not been the intellectual resolve of people such as His Excellency President Mandela for fighting for the freedom and liberation of this country. And therefore, we should celebrate our icons. We should never be ashamed to applauding them. President Thabo Mbeki, the Chancellor of this university, is a graduate of this university. President Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president of this country, is an alumnus of this university. But as I said to you, we don't produce presidents only for this continent or the country. His Excellency President Jean-Bertrand Aristide of Haiti, the first Black Republic, the republic that gained independence 207 years ago, is a graduate of this university. And colleagues, you know, even the royal family in England owes us a debt for training them in their own leadership, because King George is a graduate of this university. I just needed to give you the diverse leaders that this university has created. We don't just produce kings, statesmen, presidents, but we also produce opposition party political leaders, meaning we are diverse. We give you diverse knowledge. So if you think about Dr. Musibudi Mangena, the leader of AZAPU, the Minister of Science and Technology, under whose leadership one of the first EV cars in the world, at least in the recent past, Jules, was created under. I think he deserves a round of applause. Many of you are buying EV cars, but you have no knowledge and history that South African universities were some of the first universities to invest in EV cars. Somebody was smart and went and produced them in the United States, and we are rebuying what is the output of our minds. So it's very important that you protect the assets and intellectual resources of our continent. Mr. Mmusi Maimane, the former leader of the Democratic Alliance, who's now the leader of an organization called BOSA, is also a product of this university. Equally, the CIC of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Mr. Sello Malema, Julius Malema, is a graduate of this university. So you can see by the varied leaders that UNISA produces that we really give you varied knowledge, approaches, contestations, ideation that enable you to participate in particular ways in your society. Finally, colleagues, I just want to share the great news too. If you think about the last 7 or 10 years, at least 10 vice-chancellors of universities in South Africa, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, and elsewhere are products of the University of South Africa. Whether you think about the former Vice-Chancellor, Professor Makanya, whether you think about our neighbor university, Tshwane University of Technology, the current Vice-Chancellor, Professor Tinyiko Maluleke, whether you think about the former Vice-Chancellor of the first woman Vice-Chancellor of UCT, Professor Mampele Rampela, or you think about Professor Mamukhethi Phakeng, all of them have passed through the hands or the intellectual shores of UNISA. The most recent one being Professor S.K. Ndlovu, the University, or Vaal University of Technology. He's also a product of this university. And in Zambia, Professor Ngambi. In Zimbabwe, Professor, in Zimbabwe, yes, in Zambia, Professor Ngambi. In Zimbabwe, Professor Gundani. So this university is committed to shaping leaders, to ensuring that we produce amazing people who continue to honor the calling of changing the country, the continent, and the world for the better. With these words, colleagues, I want to first extend our welcome, and as they say in Ghana, a warm welcome. We say Akwaba. Our honorary doctoral candidate is from Ghana, does his business in Canada, is a professor at the University of Toronto, St. George's campus. I happen to have taught at University of Toronto, Emmanuel College. So I'm proud that somebody from the University of Canada is this evening receiving an honorary award. So colleagues, let me welcome you to UNISA, the University of the Land, the university committed to shaping futures, the university which is the home of leaders, the anchor for the transformation of our society. And we welcome you as we celebrate the 30 years of democracy of this beautiful country. You're welcome, Le Amuhetsu. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now an honor to inform you that we will proceed with the conferment of the honorary degree. I now request Professor M.E. Magwe to introduce the candidate to me.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, now I have the honor to introduce to you George J. Sefa Day for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education, honoris causa, and I request Professor Day to rise. Ghanaian-born George Sefa Day is a renowned educator, researcher, and writer who is considered by many as one of Canada's foremost scholars on race, anti-racism studies, Black and minority education, African indigeneity, and anti-colonial thought. He is widely sought after academic, researcher, and community worker whose professional and academic work has led to many Canadian and international speaking invitations in the US, Europe, and Africa. Currently, he is a professor of social justice education and director of the Center for Integrative Anti-Racism Studies at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education of the University of Toronto. Professor Sefa Day is the 2015, 2016, 2018 and 2019 Carnegie African Diasporan Fellow. In August of 2012, Professor Day also received the honorary title of Professor Extraordinaire from the Department of Inclusive Education, University of South Africa. In 2017, he was elected as Fellow of Royal Society of Canada, the most prestigious award for an academic scholar. He also received the 2016 Whitworth Award for Educational Research from the Canadian Education Association, awarded to the Canadian scholar whose research and scholarship have helped shape Canadian national education policy and practice. Professor Sefa Day is the 2019 Paulo Freire Democratic Project Chapman University, US, Social Justice Award winner in April of 2021. Professor Day received the 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award from the Ontario Alliance of Black School Educators for long-standing work on promoting Black and minority youth education. Also, Professor Day, in October 2022, was named by Silver Trust Media as one of the 100 most influential Black Canadians nationwide. In March of 2023, Professor Day received the highly prestigious 2023 President's Impact Award given to a University of Toronto scholar whose work has reached beyond walls of academia to significantly impact local communities nationally and internationally. Professor Day has 44 books and 96 refereed journal articles to his credit, as well as 159 book chapters, 20 research reports, and 20 monographs. He was invited as a guest speaker to 249 conferences and presented keynote addresses at 90 conferences. He has read a total of 163 conference papers and made 80 radio and television appearances between 1992 and 2019. In June of 2007, Professor Day was installed as a traditional chief in Ghana, specifically as the Gaya Sehene of the town of Asokore, Koforidwa, in the new Jubian traditional area of Ghana. His full name is Nana Adusei Sefa Twenebwa. In recognition of Prof. Day's worldwide acclaim of scholarly work, whose impact has gone beyond academia terrain into local, national, and international communities, and his lifelong quest for answers to global educational challenges, the University Council of UNISA, at its meeting on the 21st of August 2023, resolved to confer the honorary degree in education on Professor George J. Sefa Day, Nana Adusei Sefa Tenebwa. Okay. Madam Vice Chancellor, I now have the honor to request you to confer on George J. Sefa Day the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education, honoris causa.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education, honoris causa, on George J. Sefa Day. Sorry, let's organize. Let's do a retake. Yes. It should sit. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well done. I think you should still. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You may be seated. We will hold it for you. Colleagues, did you hear how many books? How many publications? How many awards? In the continent of Africa, in North America, everywhere else in the world. Professor Day is recognized as a major leader who's contributing to the knowledge around the dignity of Africa, its knowledge systems, its civilizations, even as it encounters other knowledge systems. Congratulations. We are truly proud of this honor. At this point, let me invite Professor Day to give an acceptance message of this award.
Okay. I just want to begin by acknowledging the land on which we are. As in many of our African communities, we are taught that every land, every classroom is a space that people had to fight to liberate. So I want to recognize that. I also want to thank all the excellencies, the distinguished guests, the senior university administration, our Madam Vice Chancellor, and all our new graduates. And in so doing, observe all the protocols. This honor bestowed on me by UNISA is so important. As Madam Vice Chancellor was mentioning, this year, I'm so blessed even to be receiving 2 honorary doctorates from universities. And I treasure this the most because it comes from an African university, the biggest of all our universities. I want to thank many people who have helped me in the way. My family is here, my friends. There are colleagues in the room here, some of UNISA's faculty and professors who I know, and I'm going to mention names because I will leave someone out. But I want to single out Professor Narida Pasha, because she's a darling of my students in Toronto for her work in inclusive education and disability studies. And they just wanted me to mention that there's someone at UNISA who is held in high esteem, and I should mention. I'm so honored I heard all the names that were mentioned, people, some of the graduates of this university, all the great names, and I was particularly excited, and I have to tell people, hearing the names of all these great individuals. I was just given about 10 minutes to make my speech, but I want to make a couple of points. I want particularly the new graduates while I congratulate you, to recognize that we all need to imagine the world as we want it to be, and we work hard to make it happen. And this is our responsibility. It's very, very important that we do that. But I also want to put a particular charge that what we need are African universities, not universities in Africa. There's a big difference between African university and a university in Africa. I also want to highlight that we need to work with our indigenous cultural teachings. We are all familiar with the Ubuntu philosophy. I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. And there is also the Akan, An Ashanti, that it takes a village to raise a child. But sometimes I don't think people understand what it means. Of course, it takes a village to raise a child, but we must create that village in the first place. We must build it. And this is why we must always create communities wherever we are. We don't plug communities from the sky. We build communities one brick, one stone at a time. And let's do that. And as we do this, particularly for those of us on the continent, we have a particular responsibility to decolonize our institutions. They cannot become colonial satellites of the Western academy. We need to decolonize our universities in our curriculum, use our own knowledges, our own histories, our own creativity and resourcefulness to ensure that we have decolonized our universities. And we cannot create these universities without addressing the question of social justice and equity for all. Education must not be a privilege. It must be a right for everyone. And as universities become a right for everyone, we also have to ensure that we create inclusive spaces where everybody belongs, irrespective of their race, their ethnicity, their gender, their class, and yes, their sexuality. It's very, very important that we create that. And I want to end with the power of mentorship. We stand on the shoulders of those who have gone before us. And those of us who have the privilege of history. I call it the privilege of history because we come before others. Those of us who have that privilege of history must never forget to mentor the young ones who are coming after us. We hold each other up, we build people up, and that is mentorship, because as we mentor people, we ourselves are being mentored. And lastly, as we continue the journey, let's always remember that sometimes we have to retrace our steps just to watch what we're doing, to see that we are on the right path. And this is why sometimes anyone who stands at the edge of a cliff, when you stand at the edge of a cliff, any step backward is progress. Thank you very much, UNISA, and I'm going to treasure this honor very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Professor Day. Colleagues, you are certain that this is a deserved honorary degree. Can we give a round of applause? Let me also make one or two announcements as my colleagues are coming in. Please fly in, not walk in. May I also request you to have your phones on, but your volume down. Did you hear that? Your phones on, but your volume down, so that you allow the participants to take pictures, to trend. The marketing colleagues tell me, you who are graduating this evening, if you don't have a social media handle, that you're way behind the times. So they asked me that through your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, as well as your Facebook, to ensure that you make yourselves trend, yourselves. Did you hear? Yourselves as the graduates to trend this evening, especially when you graduate at a time when we honor an African who's making great impact in the world, in Canada, in the US, in Ghana, in South Africa, and everywhere else in the world. You are therefore called to honor this important gift of UNISA as a true testament to the validity of our own knowledge systems, our own ideas, our own humanity, and our own contribution to the global world. Everybody seated now? Thank you. By virtues of the powers entrusted to me, I shall now proceed to confer the degrees and diplomas of the University of South Africa on the candidates whose names appear in the program. I now request the representatives of the colleges to present the candidates to me.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Simpiwe Ketukutula Cele for the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership. I have the honor to read his citation in support of the conferment of the degree. In his thesis entitled, "The Disruptive Impact of Financial Technologies on the Financial Services Industry in South Africa," he examines the impact of financial technologies, fintechs, on the financial services industry in South Africa. The study followed an exploratory, evaluative, inductive, mixed methods research approach using interpretivist paradigm. Findings reveal the adverse effects of fintech, such as the lower prices of financial products and services, reduced profits for incumbents, increased competition for the incumbents, and the introduction of regulatory risks. Findings also indicate that COVID-19 accelerated the adoption of fintechs in South Africa. The study makes an important scientific contribution, and it is useful for policies and programs pertaining to fintechs as well as financial inclusion. Madam Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership to Simpiwe Ketukutula Cele.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership on Simpiwe Ketukutula Cele.
Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce you to Gary Cominos for the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership. I have the honor to read his citation in support of the conferment of his degree. In his thesis entitled Online Social Networks, Radical Business Transparency and Ethical Climate, a Conceptual Governance Framework, he assessed factors influencing responsible engagement when interacting with online social networks to address the paradigm shift from traditional corporate transparency to the notion of radical transparency. He makes a valuable contribution to the body of knowledge in the field of online business communication by proposing a governance framework to empower the employee to engage online while representing the organizations with responsible behavioral intent, mitigating reputational risk. Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Gary Cominos the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership on Gary Cominos.
Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Karikai Emmanuel Gondo for the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership. I have the honor to read his citation in support of the conferment of the degree. In his thesis entitled Value Realization on Data Analytics to Improve Business Intelligence in the Manufacturing Sector in the Big Data Era, he thoroughly investigates why big data has remained on the radar of the manufacturing sector for a long time. Data collected from managers and technology consultants are analyzed using qualitative techniques. His findings constitute an original and valuable contribution to theory and show that though technology generates data, other fields, such as management, regulate the usage of the resultant data. Building on this, he develops 4 frameworks to improve data analytics, incorporating trust, risk, and ethical considerations. Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer on Garikai Emmanuel Gondo the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership on Garikai Emmanuel Gondo.
Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce to you Reddy Bezabi Hailu for the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership. I have the pleasure and honor to read his citation in support of the conferment of the degree. In his thesis entitled Impact of Leadership Styles on Employees' Performance Mediated by Job Satisfaction in the Amara region public sectors in Ethiopia, he examined the impact of leadership styles on employees' performance mediated by job satisfaction. He developed a conceptual framework of observed and latent variables using structural equation modeling, which makes a valuable contribution to the field of human resource management and leadership. The proposed model offers practical solutions to problems in the Ethiopian public sector and ineffective leadership practices that do not meet expectations. Madam Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree on Reddy Bezabi Hailu, the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Business Leadership on Reddy Bezabi Hailu.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Master of Arts. Hertha Ndilimeke Kauvi. Hluphekile Maria Modise.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Master of Business Leadership. Lawrence Thabo Masemula. I have the pleasure to introduce a colleague, a staff member, Tulani Veli Sibui, for the Master of Business Leadership degree. Congratulations. Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidate received the degree of Master of Business Administration. Zodwa Margaret Mkunu. Congratulations. The following candidates received the degree of Master of Business Administration. Margaret Mamiki Mshabati.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree Bachelor of Arts Honours in the College of Law. Hlupheka Edith Hlokwan. Calvin Kanyi. Gyalbocha Kumalo. Tabiseng Masangu. Tebogo Banele Nkosi. Olivia Lisa Peterson.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors in the College of Human Sciences. Ramkone Dora Kunutu. Madam Vice Chancellor, Bongani Oki Makatu receives the degree with distinction. Cheryl Zola Mtembu. Uhone Palandwa. Asithandile Punguza.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree Bachelor of Laws. Calvin Bapela. Katlejo Boyce. Lutendo Ronel Chikomana. Nakai Kamuti. Mohammed Ibrahim Khadrawi. Nomsa Libesi. Muketwa Ruvengo. Sello George Maka. Frank Sinki Masangu. Mwako Felix Masekhane. Nditurafi Elda Matua. Rotondwa Makesha. Le- Thank you. Lebogang Malegopo. Peter Tebogo Masomaite. Makwe Given Matsekholeng. Asitandile Nolukholo Mlombile. Kaiser Tlo Modiba. Lindelwe Confidence Mukwena. Mohkolo Miranda Mugangwe. Tembi Paulina Msipa. Shivani Munsami. Buitumelo Patience Nala. Mazwenkosi Ndlovu. Kiamogetswe Johanna Nonyane. Mamkete Piti. Correction, Pete. Monica Maria Pretorius. Nomalungisa Kati. Buang Katlejo Tolbi Rasloko. Margaret Tato Chale. Kangwelo Prejudice Chifaro. Tanya Elizabeth van Heerden. Lindelwa Busakwe. Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree Bachelor of Arts in the College of Law. Garabo Apane. Buitumelo Leta Khatla. Calvin Dyson Tumane Mafatle. Karabo Zezani Charlene Makanya. Kotsato Geraldine Makweba. Caroline Silukwane Masaba. Komosho Agrinet Masubelele. Merci Maputi Mujela. Thank you. Thank you. Pumelo Lisbeth Hope Muloya. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Madam Vice Chancellor Mtituzi Kenneth Mutweni is a staff member. Pusaleto Ramunyai. Madam Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree Bachelor of Commerce. Makoma Ntwaki Charity Mohale. Silenga Simate. Sibusiso Chuluba. Kabile Pritchett Mkunu. Wensi Tobela Nkonki.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Stobile Nozipho Khosa. Mohadi Audrey Machaka. Look at the camera. Tepiso Mavis Rampamudi. Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the Bachelor of Information Science. Scholastic Baloi. Wendy Kush. Gift Sifiso Mavimbela. Marjorie Moyo. Bongani Abram Nkabinde. Lihlohonolo Victor Shabalala. Madam Vice-Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Theology. Timothy Nicholas Atchison receives the degree obtained with distinction. Tlangelani Gracious Kameli. Madam Vice-Chancellor, Tandega Pacific Sibego receives the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Nursing Sciences. Madam Vice-Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Hunadi Chantel Morena. Kini Rossi Dimu, thank you. Kini Rossi Dimingu. Viona Nonhlanhla Mashele. Tsehofatso Love Mosesane. Nontigalelo Sokoni. Karen Christine Tobias. Simran Daya. Libuani Magoma. Mohadi Masoha. Sandra Lebuhang Nkabanyani. Tracy Mahlangu. Khuluhelo Musa Riabetswe Maloka. Thank you. Barbara Batsiba Muhulu. Khatleho Mildred Monobe. Basetsana Bunolo Monyaki. Charlotte Shala Msomi. Mamelo Sikwatle. Kiamogwetse Palisa Chazi. Okay. I'll repeat this one. Kiamogwetse Palisa Chazi. Madam Vice Chancellor, I present to you Megan Villion, degree obtained with distinction.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the diploma candidates will now be introduced to you. Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree, correction. Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the postgraduate diploma in the College of Law. Mwaketsi Michael Likoko. Nasitole Lilian Silepi. Samalani Pale Shingange.
Madam Vice Chancellor, Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the postgraduate diploma in the Graduate School of Business Leadership. Matlakala Emily Babedi. Shengani Lloyd Baloi. Kensani Vanilla Baloi. Truman Kolo Biase. Tlikongomelo Tredi Chauke. Jonathan Dean Kutsir. Is that correct? Priya Dabidin. Ropafatso Ebinia Dakwa. Chosane Winnie Duba. Ayabulela Siviwe Dube. Simpiwe Gyanki, Oluteniola Oriolua Funto Abaloi. Yebo, diyaphila. Unjani? Luphumezo Gaiya. Well done. Ntombiza kiti Mbalentle Gumbi. Matsetse Ngwa Gaugelo Brenda Gwebu. Pindile Hlachwayo. Clut Brighton Shomela. This candidate obtained the diploma with distinction, Tinyiko Patricia Honwani. Samkele Jack Palmer. Alisha Ushna Jagdu. Saurai Blessed Kadio. Ompile Edith Kiufitleti. Tabiso Matthews Khabu. Mancho Doli Khopane. Bradley Benvenito Klassen. Khumutso Belinda Kumalo. Tshepiso Lidikwa. Pule Ishmael Likone. Ernestina Malineo Lipaka. How do you pronounce this one? Marawe Gift Lisufi. Winnie Madidimala. Sbongela Madlala. Sikweng Abigail Mahanyele. Tinganangwi Bethwell Magosha. Telma Mahumani obtained the postgraduate diploma with distinction. Well done. Anna Ramukone Mailula. Ntsikelelo Makaka. Mendi Makamadze obtained the diploma with distinction. Congratulations. Kenneth Kagiso Mahabu. Kulufelo Maputi Portia Malaji. Anza Chilizi Catherine Mampuhoro. Mpo Naomi. Mpo Naomi Mandiwana. Zwanga Manya. Lydia Matingane Manyaka. Keegan Marimuthu. Mfanufikile March Maseko. Kwena Samuel Masha. Mashutu Ana Muhudi Masha. Brain Mashishi. Victor Masuka. Muloko Gloria Matipa Mtakane. Hello. Kiamukhetse Matsidiso. Farello Portia Mareta. Fasios David Mavungu. Rulani Patience Bombi. Sipamandla Bongani Gideon Mdlalose. Siphumelele Beverly Mdluli. Punki Mello. Mapaseka Peggy Mhlongo obtained the diploma with distinction. Sibusiso Lawrence Mkachwa. Ayanda Precious Mkize. Tembagazi Yandisa Mkize. Lorraine Tlalane Mudishane. Zanele Kulagahle Mueng. Ntabiseng Nelly Mufukeng obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Mulemo Ributile Mugadime. Tsihufatso Mukhotsi. Natasha Mohan obtained the diploma with distinction. Mandy Mbalenhle Valentine Mudau. Mudipadi Anastasia Mudau. Hello. Pamela Dinah Mutileng. Mukhetwa Cheryl Mutwane. Tafadzwa Michelle Moyo obtained the diploma with distinction. Bafana Zamachibi Daniel Mtabela. Beauty Emma Mtsweni. Pumeza Apiwe Mtubu obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Namutulo Joanne Mubiana. Vauda Alberto Chopela Mukavele. Lutendo Muzanani. Manda Mulaudzi. Asran Khoitsimodimo Nane. Sibulele Ngame. Kolisane Ndlovu. Resta Mashudu Ndo obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Service Gezani Ndove. How do you pronounce it? Service Gezani Ndove. Peaceful Mercury Ngobeni. Khadi Salami Mwepe. Nchekiseng Innocentia Ngoma obtained the diploma with distinction. Ngosinati Ronald Ngosi. Good to see you too. Ntandose Esther Ngosi. Maureen Maite Ngwana. Letwin Nyakuja. Shumani Nyamande obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Sydney Lishata Podile. J. Pashtom Bura. Lusa Constance Radzilani obtained the diploma with distinction. Rudzani Daphne Ramalia. Ndibuza Euclid Ramatutu. Mutlatso Ellis Ramutla. Manti Flora Sape obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Lirato Precious Sibanda. Kaugelo Cornelius Sibutuma. Dinawo Lisbeth Sibulele obtained the diploma with distinction. Well done. Becky Henry Sedibe. Becky Henry Sedibe. Dineo Patience Sipodi. Donald Cecilia. Lindy Tabis Kosana, diploma obtained with distinction. Kola Tobias, diploma obtained with distinction. Mwanza Marius Tembo. Mpo Klapi Good evening. Asanda Tokota, diploma obtained with distinction. Tsepiso Juadele Tebe, right? Tsepiso Jodeli Tebe. Swido Velangani Chidino. Thank you. Chifiwa Chigobele. Libuani Shivase. Well done. Diploma rather. Diploma obtained with distinction. Well done. Lillian, how do you pronounce it? Lillian Ugochukwu. Leslie Mpo Vilagazi. Mpepete Vilagazi. Tashlin Shenli Walbrach. How are you? Simangaliso Kholihlahla Xekethwane. Nkensani Thelma Kshivambu. Sicelo Calvin Zwane.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, the following candidates receive a diploma in the College of Human Sciences. Rufiwa Theophilus Bele. Lentswe Dilebo. Ongeza Kiwu. Bridget Lebogang Laka. Bridget Kensani Mabunda. Madam Vice-Chancellor, Sindisiwe Evidence Majozi obtains the diploma with distinction. Mahabo Jonas Maponya. Serame Richard Masijo. Matia Hang Chloe Edith. Madam Vice-Chancellor, Zinhle Mvelase obtained the diploma with distinction. Katlego Andronica Sibande. Johanna Matapelo Tobahale.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Law. Honorary Tibohang Jonas. Lifa Mama Riri Kiete. Mpo Precious Kosakala. Shamaine Tulahanyo Lehwati. Matepo Adela Madiba. Simpiwe Cindy Masangu. Madam Vice Chancellor, Khabarate Remembrance Makua obtains the diploma with distinction. Matidiso Grace Malachi. Portia Maluleke. Madam Vice Chancellor, Mongezi Malunga obtains the diploma with distinction. Mpo Manaka. Lisaho Yvonne Matole. Mullins Itani Mazuva. Ivy Mwamushi. Mudipadi Edith Mukwena. Annette Mbali Msimango. Lucy Litabo Riba. Tinanava Bianca Singo. Okay. Wukudo Masha Singo. Pumzile Zilia Skosana.
Good evening. I'm sure we are all excited about the accomplishments that our loved ones have demonstrated this evening. Colleagues, good evening. Are you not happy? Okay. Let me ask the loved ones to stand up. The loved ones of our graduates, let me ask you to stand up. Only your loved ones, eh? Not you. They've been sitting for quite some time. I think even here, you're the loved ones in front. You're not graduating. If you're not graduating, we request you to stand up, except if health doesn't allow. Yes, your wife is graduating. I heard that's my wife. Colleagues, can you give your loved ones and a round of applause? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Whilst you're standing up, I want to convey a message from the University of South Africa, from our Chancellor, His Excellency President Beki, the Chair of Council, and all members of Council, led by Dr. Diaum Musia, the members of the Management Committee, the extended management, the students, the primary stakeholder of the university, the academicians of this university, administrative and professional staff, equally from the alumnus of this university, for the role that you've played in ensuring that these, our graduates, have journeyed and succeeded in their lives. It could not have happened without you. And as UNISA, we honor you. We thank you for being partners in this important journey. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. At this point, let me ask those who are graduating with their diplomas to stand up. Diplomas, not degrees. Yes. So diplomas and postgraduate diplomas. I had wanted diploma. You know what? You who are doing postgraduate diplomas, I don't know who asked you to stand up. I only asked the colleagues who are doing their diploma. We're going to get our certificates back, because if you can't take instructions now, how are we sure that you're going to do your work as best as you can? Okay. Colleagues who are graduating with your diploma, here at UNISA, we say congratulations, but we say the second semester is open. Registration is open. Don't blow all your money on the graduation celebrations. Register in the next semester. Congratulations. You may be seated. Let me ask colleagues who are graduating with their degrees, honors, postgraduate diplomas to stand up. Loved ones, you might go home without certificates. No one said they should ululate or celebrate. We just asked them to stand up. Colleagues, we're proud of your achievements. Some of you laughed when we talked about Invigilator app, because sometimes it might have caught you trying to ask for some assistance, and we say, no, stop it, you know. But what I'm very proud of you and your accomplishments is that you will continue to study because you've been inspired by the excellence and success that you've witnessed before you this evening. Congratulations to you. Equally, as I've said, lifelong learning, it never stops. So we are hoping that you're going to register for your master's in the second semester. Congratulations. You may be seated. So you saw the numbers, huh? You saw the numbers for the degrees, honors, postgraduate diplomas, huh? Let me request those who concluded their masters this evening. Master, huh? Colleagues, you remember I asked you to do the mathematics earlier on. You see how many people are graduating with a master's. We want to congratulate them because they demonstrate resilience and tenacity to continue pursuing their trajectory. And, you know, we say a postgraduate is the penultimate national qualification NQF level, you know. You understand? You build and build and build. We're very proud of the work that they've done. We would like them to be like their neighbors. You see their neighbors? Very special. Congratulations to you. And equally, we expect you to register for your PhD. Doctoral qualification is the last NQF level. You know, the apex. So we would like you to do so. Congratulations, you may be seated. And you heard me, colleagues, saying, I may not be tall, but you can see the symbolism. Huh? Can you please stand up, those of you who are graduating with your PhD? Jealous. I'm so proud of you. You're not jealous. You've blessed them with ululations and appreciation for their accomplishment. Colleagues, a doctoral degree is the apex qualification in our national qualifications framework. These are the colleagues who have done research that only them, not anyone else in the world, would have pursued with the support of their supervisors or promoters. We value the work that they've done. It demonstrates what our country, what our continent, in the National Development Plan, in the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, the vision of our continent represent. To you, colleagues, congratulations. I must be honest, we didn't tell you all. You're now at the beginning. You remember we said they're at the apex? When you look at the colleagues here in this podium, they represent producers of knowledge, people who have supervised doctoral candidates and graduates such as them who came as Mr. and now go as doctors, who came here without a master's degree and have their masters, who came here with their diplomas, honors, postgraduate diplomas. And you, colleagues, you have the obligation to mentor, to be an accompanier, and to produce the knowledge that is so required in our country, in our continent, and in the world. Congratulations. You may be seated. Professor Day, once again, can I just request you to stand up? Congratulations. I'm sure we can divide ourselves. Each section can take 4 books, 4 books, 4 books, 4 books, and then we can have a discussion on the over 44 books that he has written. Beyond the other publications, this is an indelible mark of an intellectual, a leader who's not only recognized in his country, Ghana, but is recognized all over the world, including receiving presidential orders of varied countries and universities. Congratulations. You may be seated. In conclusion, colleagues, especially you who are graduating, your academic achievements represent your tenacity and the will to succeed. Similarly, the support you have received from your communities, your families represent the collective desire for us as a nation, as a society, as a continent, as a world to succeeding. In this sense, higher education is both a public good that we must all cherish, we must promote it, and we must preserve, because it, not now. You may sit. We have to finish our graduations with dignity. Thank you. I have no doubt that you have acquired the necessary knowledge and skills that will improve the human condition anywhere in the world. Your alma mater, the University of South Africa, will conclude its 150 years on the 26th June 2024. And as we celebrate 150, it is a moment to reflect, to look into the future, to look at what is the core and the fundamentals in our teaching, learning, research, and gay scholarship, but also in your global participation as leaders. I know many of you may be the first in your families to graduating this evening. How many of you are the first to graduate in your families? Can we give them a round of applause? You know what it means to being a first generation, to being the first in your family to graduating. It means you've been given the opportunity to breaking the boundaries, the cycles of poverty, the cycles of marginalization, for being the anchor and the agent of ensuring that your family and your society learn with you and from you through education. And what's important is that His Excellency President Mandela, the alumnus and esteemed alumnus of this university, says it is through education that a great engine of personal development can be gained. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant or peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become a head of the mine, that a child of a farm worker can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from one another. You had a dream. Sometimes it was not an easy journey. Sometimes you cried. Sometimes you failed, and you had to wake up and shake yourselves into the future. Sometimes you could not afford the prescribed textbook that we needed. Sometimes your computer or your phablet or your phone was archaic and could not download the requisite text materials that you needed to do. And your family and loved ones were there by your side, whether through nudging you, encouraging you never to give up, whether buying that textbook and telling them when you graduate, you're going to have to 10 times the payment for the book, or whether they softly prayed for you or meditated with you so that you could overcome the learning barriers. We know many of our families don't leave us alone. They are there with us in thoughts, in prayers, in support, because this success that you're celebrating this evening is not yours alone, but is yours with your loved one. We hope that the investment that this country has made in your education will inspire you to take your rightful place as a critical and active citizen so that we can expand our human freedoms for the next 30 years and beyond. In conclusion, as an alumnus of UNISA, we wish to invite you to partner with our university, your alma mater. You should join UNISA Convocation. You should influence how we manage the university, how we support students, how we create global competitiveness, and how we ensure that your credentials will at all times, at all material times, be valued in this country and in the globe. Your association with this university is very important. You are the ambassador. We expect a lot from you. We expect you to take the duty of being a graduate of this university as an important leadership journey. We salute you for your selflessness, for your sacrifice, and for your success. Congratulations, and all the best to you. But my colleagues say they know that you've studied well in your classroom, in the laboratory, through your co-curricular issues. But they want me to ask you 5 questions that they deem important. And before that, let me ask those who passed with cum laude to stand up. Can you please give them a round of applause? Congratulations. Congratulations, you may be seated. I heard when we were doing the graduation, somebody saying, Viva Haile Selassie. You know that's Ethiopia. I heard somebody saying, Viva Mozambique. I heard somebody saying, Namibia. Let me ask all our international students, you have the Oguchu, is it Oguchu? Also, I could hear the ululations when you were going through. Can I request all of you to stand up, the international students? Thank you. You may be seated. So, colleagues, when we say UNISA is the African University in the Service of Humanity, we're not joking. Here's testament from Ghana, Ethiopia, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and everywhere else the continent and the globe requires. This means you South African students, means you have to have a sense of wonder. No, that I won't say it in English. It's for us. It's a family discussion. Yeah? So I want to ask you these 5 questions that my colleagues have asked me to ask you so that they are certain that the degrees you have are worth it. 1, how many of you have traveled in all the provinces of the country? Just by show of your certificate. So if you're one of those, they ask me to remind you, for you to be a scholar of note, a leader of note, you must understand the diversities of our country, and you must know all the provinces, and you can do so in 9 months. All you have to do is to take a bus, take a taxi, pull cars, take a train, and fly. Those are 5 modes of transport that you can use to mediate that. How many of you have passports? So they tell me that if you don't have a passport, Home Affairs is open tomorrow. There's no reason why you can skip applying for your passport, because a passport allows you to widen your horizons and to visit other geographic environments and to compare and contrast South Africa with the region as you do with the global arena, especially you who are in business. There's no way you'll be in global trade if you don't understand the region. Your businesses will not flourish, so it's imperative. How many of you have been to 1 or 2 or 3 countries? Not the international students, don't raise your hands at all. This is a family talk, local. How many of you have been to 2 or 3 countries in the region, in the continent? Look next to you, colleagues. We are almost 0. Eh? Did you hear? So my colleagues tell me that if you're here, Eswatini is 500 kilometers. It's a shorter distance than going to Kimberley. They tell me that Botswana is equally around 550 or 600. Namibia is 700. Mozambique, 750 kilometers. There's no reason why you can't bus it, especially when you have a passport. Because to be a good leader, you must understand the continent. How many of you have been to any other continent other than Africa? You can see who, yeah. So they say you who have traveled, inspire others to travel. For in our languages, there's an expression that to travel is to encounter different peoples, languages, opportunities. They encourage us that for us as UNISA graduates, to being globally competitive, we must have these 5 critical skills that they have asked me to request you to empower yourselves with. Can you stand up, show your families your certificates, and thank them and the academicians that have been by your side? Congratulations. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last minute to do your ululations, mekholokwane applauses in celebrations of the successes this evening. Yes. Some parents wanted to ululate. I saw your children looking, and then you say, ah. And some of you says, "Kingwanaka wo." That's my wife, somebody said from the stage. Can I have that? And these young ones that we have not taught how to ululate, we're saying, woo! Almost decimating our ears. Let's teach them how to ululate. Let me request you all to stand up for the singing of the national anthem, the words of which are to be found in page 25. Let me request you, colleagues, to remain standing after the anthem to enable me to dissolve the congregation of the University of South Africa. You're also requested to remain standing whilst the academic procession leaves the hall. Let me make a request, including with our pianist or organist, that we should sing the national anthem, the embodiment of the aspirations of our society, with the dignity, respect that it requires, especially remembering the 30 years of freedom of liberation, of development, of access, but also the 30 years that remind us of the future that we must carve together as collectives, even as we do so for the continent and the contribution of Africa into the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this graduation saw 378 graduates this evening. Congratulations. Thank you. By virtues of the powers entrusted to me, I now dissolve this congregation of the University of South Africa.